Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to This and That with Mitch and Matt, a podcast where you will hear everything from pop culture, trends and music, drunken shenanigans, the meaning of life, and what is at the foremost of the minds of our hosts, Mitch Kaiser and Matt Cottle.
What's up, world? You guys are tuned in to This and That with Mitch and Matt. As always, I'm Mitch.
And I'm Matt.
You guys are tuned in to a very important, very special episode number 9. We've been hinting about this episode for a long time. We've actually scrapped several episodes. I think in light of this important episode with everything going on in the world today, all the chaos, the riots, the killings, the lootings, the protests, I think we had to come out today and do an episode and voice our opinion. We've set back a little bit and kind of watched what's going on in the world. I think we're both a little indifferent on when to voice our opinion, but we decided today was the day.
Yeah.
So I think it was time we both got on and we both shared our opinion on what we thought about what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we kind of like held off to kind of think on it because one thing a lot of people do just have like a, just kind of like a gut feel emotion,
right,
and just go ahead and erupt without facts coming in and everything. Right. But, some facts are coming in and, it's looking a little fucky.
It's still bullshit.
Yeah.
So first off, I know that I'll always be first to admit and first to say that as a white male, I know I'm privileged. I was very naive to the thought and to the ideology of white privilege. But now looking back at my past life, and not past life, but I guess past, in my past, I've recognized that I'm very privileged. In the game of life, if you had one token to pick, you'd want to be a white male.
Yeah.
Because I think you get a benefit over females, and being white, you get a benefit over other races. And I think that's all bullshit.
Right.
But that's the card that's been dealt for the entire world, and I think that's what we're trying to change right now. But on the flip side of that, I've also noticed that as a white male, when situations like this arise, we're kind of told we don't have an opinion because we don't know what they're going through. I'm a 35-year-old white male, and I've been told personally to my face, I don't know what a 35-year-old black male is going through.
Sure.
And while that's right, and I agree with that, I get it, that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion.
Exactly, yeah.
And so to support one another, we have to stop, I think, that whole ideology that you don't know what I'm going through, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Because that's not getting anywhere. The shit that happened to George Floyd, I think everybody in this world will admit is bullshit.
Absolutely.
There's been several things happening here lately that I think is utter bullshit. I think if you want to avoid vulgar content and vulgar language, this probably isn't the episode to listen to.
No, probably
it's
not.
a very strongly, I think, voiced and opinionated episode that we're going to have that's probably going to come with some strong language. So this is your warning now. If you don't want to hear that strong language, I would probably opt out and maybe catch episode 10.
Yeah, maybe. Depends.
Maybe. It depends how we feel.
We'll let you know.
So I'm a very strongly opinionated person, and I'm very stubborn. And like we were talking as far as being privileged to be a white male, I feel that when I start to think about it, because I've been pulled over multiple times and never have I feared for my life.
No,
I have
either.
I have some personal friends who are black who do fear for their life, but they don't know what's coming. They don't know who's going to pull them over.
Right.
And I think that's shit that's the way they have to feel regardless. I've never had, people scared to walk down my block or my neighborhood because I live in a, prominently white area of my town. So
right.
Nobody cares to come down my town. Not to say if that neighborhood was 80% black, would they be scared to walk down it? I would almost guarantee it,
Yeah.
because that's a lot of the way the world thinks and the world focuses on. I don't agree with any of it. But I think you and I probably were raised in a little different area where race, I feel like race was a deal. We're both from Eastern Kentucky, where you would think race would be a real big issue.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem to be an issue. Maybe we're our little spot of the world. I don't know.
I mean, everybody, I've got like some family members that are kind of racist, but, I was brought up that, everyone's equal and to treat everybody with respect. And, when we were in school and everything, I didn't see like a whole lot. I mean, some, but it wasn't nothing like what you would expect from Eastern Kentucky, though.
This may be a very kid mentality, but I always thought that race was the most bullshit reason to hate somebody.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you got to pick your color.
No.
Because if I got to, it's like dick size. We didn't get to pick that either.
No.
So if I got to pick, I would be blue, green, with red feet, yellow hands, and wild ass red hair, and like a 12-inch dong. I can tell you, if I got to pick all that stuff, like you didn't, like it's how you were born. It's what came from it.
Yeah, be like hating somebody for their eye color,
right? You know that doesn't happen. I mean, I don't know. Probably there's some asshole out there.
Yeah.
Hitler,
well, I guess
Hitler.
technically, Nazi Germany.
Right,
You
Hitler.
wasn't
He was
blonde hair, blue eyes. You were executed, but
so
except him, he wasn't that.
Right,
but everybody else was.
It's funny to talk about that because coming where we're from, my first like true friend was a foster kid from here in Eastern Kentucky, and he was black. That was my first best friend.
Right, yeah.
I spoke to him recently about all the events going on, just kind of get his opinion on kind of what was happening and how he thought about it. So we had some good talk, man, because I feel like I know in the past I've been racist unintentionally.
Yeah.
Like no hatred towards anybody.
Right.
I have no hatred towards color, race, creed, whatever. But I know unintentionally I've said or done racist shit that I didn't mean to do.
Yeah.
Even by being like, oh, I got black friends. I got a black roommate. That's still like a racist fucking comment to make. But in my mind, I was doing it to prove, hey, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little chunky 19-year-old kid from Eastern Kentucky who doesn't know any better.
Yeah. That kind of begs the question, though. How does one prove they're not racist?
I don't know if it's something you can prove, man. I think
that's just in your heart.
Right. You're right. I don't think that's something you can ever prove. I think it's how you handle yourself and how you carry yourself.
Right.
But I think in situations like this, I think it's a fine line that people walk.
Yeah. It seems like anyone can pick out anything you do and consider it racist in a way. But at the same time, it could be like, something bullshit. Like, you just said that, I think everybody is equal. And you'd be like, you're denying,
Right. Yeah.
But that's not how it feels.
I think the only thing you can fucking do, man, is be true to yourself. And you're going to piss, like we talked about before this started, not everybody's going to be happy with this episode.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody's going to be pissed off because we're not all the way on their side.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to be pissed off that we're on somebody else's side. Somebody's going to be pissed off that I say this. And that's fine. That's what we're here for.
Yeah,
I'm ready to piss people off. This is a subject matter that I'm ready to piss people off about. I don't want to say names. My buddy, I'll call him KP. I spoke to him, and I was telling him, I said, I realized unintentionally that I've done and said some racist things, especially when trying to say, hey, look, I'm not fucking racist. And he really came back with me with, what he said was, racist is an act of intention. He said, in my opinion, you may not just been unaware of what was happening. And that hit me real hard because I think racism is an act of intent. Like you intend to hate somebody for their color, their creed, their ethnicity, whatever it is. You intend to hate that person for that reason.
Right, yeah.
Mine maybe came out of stupidity and being young, and also very naive. I was very naive in the fact I thought racism was fucking done, dude. I really did. Like, it's 2020. There's much more important shit. It should be. Yeah. But here we are with a white cop who definitely stuck his knee on the back of a black man until he suffocated and killed him. I mean, and I don't know, like I've seen that the autopsy reports have showed that it was asphyxiation, that whatever it was. And either way you look at it, that's complete bullshit that we're still dealing with this, that this is what was going on. So from what the story is George Floyd was accused of maybe using a counterfeit $20 bill.
Yes. Yeah.
So there may or may not have been some resisting arrest at some point.
Yeah.
But at the point that this happened, at the point that this shit happened was nonsense. Like, he is on the ground, cuffed and subdued, and
he was cuffed before he hit the ground.
Right.
Man.
So he was ready to be thrown in a cop car and be done.
Yeah.
Now I'm hearing that the $20 bill may not even been counterfeit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that cop was thinking. I don't know where, in my mind, I agree with the mask man. Like, the fuck are you doing? Like, you seem like a racist piece of shit right now. Like,
right.
I don't know a better, you prove us wrong. Like, this isn't one of those situations, I think, where you're innocent until you're proven guilty. We've seen what you've done. Like, you've done it. So now, I don't think you proved that you're not a piece of shit.
Right.
Because of what you just did. You're a killer. You should be convicted of manslaughter for what you just did.
He is.
Right.
Yeah.
But will it hold?
In third degree
will it
murder.
hold, though? Because I've heard all kinds of bullshit that it may not hold, and I think that's shit.
Yeah. Because,
But
technically it should, because any unintentional death of someone, you know, it should hold, but I mean, it depends on the court. I mean, you know, police sometimes get a little special treatment. Not saying all police are bad or anything, but they'd have to be, you know, ignorant to acknowledge that they don't get special treatment because, you know, they're in the system.
right,
know,
100%. Just like
yeah.
I've been a paramedic for 13 years, man. I go certain places and I get treated different because I'm part of medical personnel. Like, it happens. As a cop, you know, you get special privileges too.
Exactly.
And I don't know if this guy was on a power trip. I don't know what the issue is. Like, I get it. We talked about this before this started. I can see where that power goes to somebody's head. You get a badge, you get a gun. You start to feel kind of invincible. You add that with a little bit of fucking cockiness and racism, and you got a mix for what just happened.
Right.
I lost 250 pounds, and I walked around here like I was cock of the walk for 6 months. You gave me a gun and a badge, and like RoboCop 2.0 just showed up at your fucking house, dude.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's shit that happens. What will piss people off on the other side of this is I don't always agree. Like, peaceful protest, fine. I understand protests don't always go peacefully.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Looting, rioting, burning businesses, I can't get behind. So when speaking to my friend KP, he's kind of gave me the idea that what happened was these folks were going to stores to buy supplies to battle the aggressive police force. So the police were being super aggressive with them. So they went to these stores and these places to buy supplies to fight back. Well, those stores denied to sell to them because they were going to fight police.
Yeah.
And they said, we're not going to sell to you. So the mentality then was, well, you're not against us, or you're not for us, then you're against us. Fuck you.
Right. And
okay, like you and I talked about. If we owned a gun shop, if I owned a gun shop and you came to me and said, I'm going to buy this gun and I'm going to kill this person, I'm not going to sell it to you because it's my fucking business, and I'm not going to sell it to you to go do what you're intending to do because that sounds like a bullshit reason to sell you a gun.
Right, yeah.
So I feel like while not maybe as severe as like maybe they didn't go in like, I'm going to kill this cop with this piece of pipe or whatever they said, those businesses have the right to do what they want to do. Yeah. I don't, and maybe this is the ignorant white in me. It may be the ignorant fucking white in me. I don't know, but I don't see how burning businesses, looting, rioting, and stealing TVs from fucking Target are solving anything right now. And I get that a handful of people give everybody a bad name.
Yeah.
We talked about this prior, that there's a handful of white folks that are racist as shit and are dumb and ignorant that give all of us a bad name.
Yeah.
There's a handful of black folks that are just as racist against white folks and ignorant as fuck out there doing dumb shit that give all the black folks a bad name. And there's a handful of those peaceful protesters who are out there looting and rioting and stealing TVs to give the rest of them that same bad name.
Exactly.
So I don't judge everybody based on that, but I think those folks that are doing that, they're not out there for George Floyd. They're not out there for Breonna Taylor. They're not out there for Black Lives Matter. They're out there for their own fucking good, and that's shit.
Opportunistic.
Right, that's exactly. You're exactly right.
Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Right,
you get
in there
distracted down here at all the chaos with the protest. Well, look here, Target's unguarded.
Right.
We can go in there and smash and grab everything. Grab us a few flat screens and like some of them was in there, like, you know, getting like, you know, like shower curtains and all that crap. They had buggies and stuff.
Yeah, they were doing big, man.
I mean,
but it's the same. But the thing is, it was the same thing when Hurricane Katrina happened.
Yeah,
I seen hundreds of white folks running into Walmarts and Targets then.
Yeah,
and doing the same shit.
But the thing is, it was just a.
It's not a fucking race thing. It's a dumb thing. It's a stupidity thing. It's not. I'm not bitching about black folks. I'm bitching about. I don't care what color you are.
No.
If you're taking opportunity for what's going on and the protest going on to go steal and go loot for your own good, you're a piece of shit too. Then, like, I don't care what color you are.
At these protests, it wasn't just black people going in and looting.
Right. It was white. I've seen plenty of pictures of white folk going and doing the same shit.
It was just and we're just like discouraging the looting and the burning of businesses.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I get the mentality. You're not for us, you're against us. I get that. Like, I get where they killed an unarmed black man, and now you want this in the state. I think the state drug its ass. It did. It took 4 days, I think.
Yeah.
To do that. I think if I'd have went and killed a man like he did, I'd have been in jail before the night was over.
Like on scene.
Right.
Unless
so
it was
this was a white cop who got 4 fucking days. I get the pissed offness. That should have been much more swifter than it was.
It should.
At the same time, burning local businesses, you're burning out small businesses, you're burning your hometown down, you're raping your hometown of revenue. Like, I don't know how that fixes anything. But again, maybe that's the ignorant in me. I don't know. If somebody wants to message and explain that to me, I'm open for everything.
No.
Just as my buddy tried to explain to me, it was because they had that mentality of, you're not against us. You're not for us, you against us. Kind of what he said was, it's no different picking up arms. You protest peacefully, police start tear gassing you, you fight back. The people wanted swift actions, the state ignored it, basically condoning how that man died. So what are you supposed to do? You pick up arms, you fuck shit up until they figure out who's in charge and how to change it. And I slightly agree with that.
I get that, but I mean, small businesses have nothing to do with it.
Right.
I mean, if they wanted to, burn down the police department, I'm not suggesting you do that.
Right, but I could have seen the
sense.
mentality behind that.
Yeah, it's a target.
But when you're burning out like people who own like all the businesses and everything that they're doing, when you're burning like salons and spas, and you're burning gun shops, and you're burning Fred's reptile, sand revenue, whatever you want to call it, you're burning out people who have put their life and their soul into their business.
Yeah.
And I think at that point though, what that gets turned into is, oh, well, that's collateral damage. And that's not okay either. Like, it's not okay to do that shit.
And, they might have insurance, but, insurance has a deductible. A lot of these small businesses don't have the revenue, especially after COVID-19, to even meet that deductible in order to cover everything. And just because someone has insurance doesn't mean it's okay. I know Target came out and, voiced that, they can replace stuff, but they can't replace lives. And, that was a smart play for them because that's good PR.
Right.
People will come back and buy stuff from
They know
them.
what to say.
Yeah, exactly. But point being, golden rule, do unto others as you would want done unto you.
Right.
That is what I always try to base my life off of.
I get that.
Even though somebody does something terrible, you shouldn't scoop to a level and do the exact same thing.
It's hard.
But the part that, property is one thing, but the part that pisses me off is innocent people driving on a road that have nothing to do with anything, and they're like smashing car windows, yanking innocent people out of cars and beating them to death.
So if that's what you're doing, then I don't give a fuck what race you are. You're no better than that fucking cop who put his knee on the back of George
you
Floyd
are
till he
equal
died.
to
You're
that
just as
fucking
equal.
cop. Yes.
Because I've seen plenty of video, and I've had people tell me, well, maybe it was doctored. That's not saying the video of George Floyd dying was doctored. These videos are coming straight on news outlets that are live, that are happening right now. And multiple videos, dude, everywhere, of people getting dragged out of their car with women, children, kids getting beat, innocent bystanders getting beat. So if you're out doing that, then you're just as fucking shitty as that cop was. Like, you might as well put yourself in that category. Right. You're just a piece of shit like that. And I'll tell you that to your face. Like, it doesn't make it better that you're standing up for whatever you're standing for, but you're beating innocent people in the process.
Yeah.
That still makes you a heartless piece of shit. And you should be held for your actions as well.
Yes. Once you introduce violence into your message, the message is lost. No one wants to listen.
That's a true story. Yeah. I mean, that's 100%. And you can't
violence in it. But
as I was talking to my buddy, he said, what's sad is that they've realized now that, so the state had took 4 days to do anything. In those 4 days, there was a shit ton of violence that happened. So what people's realizing is, when bad shit happens, if you want change, if you want something to happen, it takes violence to make that happen. So that's a real bad thing to start happening.
Right.
Because now you've got in people's minds that, oh, well, they didn't act quick enough. We'll burn some shit down. We'll beat some people. We'll bust some cops in the face. We'll break windows, burn buildings. We'll get something changed around here. Yeah, you'll get attention, but it's a real shitty way to go about it, man.
Yeah.
And I get I get the mentality, because I see what fucking happened. Like, I get it. That video sucked to watch. Like, I watched it one time only. I couldn't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
But I also watched a video last night of a man who got beat with a skateboard and a pipe in the middle of the street and was left to die. And I watched it one time because it broke my heart. It sucked to watch. What was the point of any of that? Like, it didn't make, whatever he didn't deserve what happened to him. And if the people who done that to him are just as shitty, essay
Yeah.
cop, you know.
The one that really got me was when this one car was going by and it had a kid in the car. I think it was in San Diego, maybe. And some of the protesters that were there where they were blocking the road were actually trying to ward off some of them, telling them there's a child in the car to leave it alone. And then one guy was like, fuck it, and took his giant pipe and busted the window out
and that
with
guy,
a kid in the car.
That's bullshit.
Fuck that guy. Yeah. Like, he's lucky he's in California. If that shit happened here, like, he would have been shot.
Right,
like, Like,
right.
Just like that.
And
if somebody tried that to my kid, dude,
100%.
I don't give a fuck about the law.
Yep.
I don't give a fuck about you.
I don't care what race you are. It doesn't matter.
No.
You can be the biggest white guy in this world, and I'm going to beat your ass, and I'm going to fucking put you down for what you just did, because it's not about race or religion or creed when you fuck with me or mine. It's just not. I have no issue for that. So
the only thing that matters in this lifetime is who you are and what you do.
Yep.
The color of your skin, Republican, Democrat, communist, like capitalist, whatever the fuck.
Yep.
It does not matter. What your actions is what makes you a person. Yep. We are 100%. All human. We all know what the right thing to do is and what the wrong thing to do is.
Yep.
This cop killing this guy was terrible.
Yep.
There is not one person in this world that looks at that video and is like, that cop, he had a point. No one's saying that at all. Everybody's saying that cop's a sack of shit.
Right.
Everyone's saying that. Everybody wanted justice for this. And I don't know. I'm just rambling, but still.
No, I tell you, it's a hard subject, man, to not ramble on. But I tell you what's going to piss probably some people off in our area is when I say that I see everybody saying, it's not just Black Lives Matter, it's all lives matter. That's true. That's 100% fucking true. All lives matter.
Yeah.
But it's not all lives that are being taken right now.
No.
It's coming from a 35-year-old white male from Eastern Kentucky. It's definitely the black community that seems to be having lives taken right now.
Yeah.
So,
and Hispanics kind of like right there with them.
Right.
Get technical, but they don't get as much, PR. But
I know we talked about, Benjamin Franklin had a quote once that said, "Justice will not be served until those who are unaffected are as outraged as those who are."
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful fucking quote because if, it's nothing but say black males whose lives are being taken. If it's only black males protesting, they're not going to be heard, man.
Right.
Like you have to have you have to stand up. Right. There has to be somebody stand up for them.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about my life right now. I don't worry that if I go out of here tonight and get pulled over that I may get shot if I reach in my back pocket get my license.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that shit. So yeah, all lives do matter. But right now it is the black lives that are being taken. So I think that's where that focus should be at. So I don't have a problem with all lives matter. I get that. I do. I promise I do.
Right.
But right now the situation is definitely a Black Lives Matter thing, and because that's what's being affected right now.
Yeah. Kind of like, all lives matter, encapsulates everyone.
Right.
But right now the spotlight's being shined over on the black community.
That's a good way to explain that.
Like up here, black lives are part of all lives. Right now, people are kind of focusing on
right, and as well should be. That's I'm not worried about you or me going out in town and getting shot or I'm not worried about a cop in my hometown putting their knee on my neck and kill me because I do something dumb or because I don't do anything or because I resist.
Yeah. They could.
Well, they most certainly could.
But
do I fear for that? No.
It's going to be because someone's got a God complex or on a power trip. It's not going to be because you're white.
Right.
And which, there are a lot of people that have God complexes and power trips, but, you're not going to have a cop around here kill you because you're white. Because everybody's white around here, basically.
Right. I asked KP, I said, what do you feel like when the media and people say that they're trying to start a race war? That the government or the media is trying to start a race war. And he had a really good reply with I think that would backfire basically because most people aren't racist. And that's a good point.
Right.
If you're a normal, citizen, if you're a normal fucking person, you're not racist. I think racism is a very, extreme, belief. If you think you're better than anybody because you're white, you're not. If you think you're better than anybody because you're black, you're not.
Yeah.
That's a very extreme, thought process to think you're better than somebody because of your color. So I don't think a race war is anything that will ever ensue because 90% of America I don't think is racist. You know,
Yeah. But the small amount that are kind of overshadow.
they do, because it's such an
everybody.
extreme thing. Like if you were to take 100 of us, if you take 100 of us white males and you put us somewhere and we were standing up for whatever the fuck we were standing up for, and you put 6 people in there who were racist, those 6 people will overshadow the other 94 in a second because of the negativity.
Those 6 people make all 100 racist.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's the way a lot of America, I think, looks at both sides, and it's such a fucked up situation, man, because as we were talking earlier, I think, you talk about white privilege, and I was very naive to ever think like white privilege wasn't a thing because I worked for what I got. I did this, I did that. True. I did work for what I have. I did go to school. I did this. I've been a medic. I've done this. I've never had to face any racism towards me. So I don't always think about how that is white privilege. It's just like, I never had it happen to me.
Right.
And maybe a little bit of white privilege in there. And I won't deny that. I was just very naive. I'll be the first to admit that I've been very naive about racism. I said this a little bit ago, that I thought it should be done by now. So I'm very naive about that. But you look at what was he, Sanford kid, the swimming kid, Brock Turner. He raped an unconscious girl out back of a frat house, and he got 6 months in jail, and he served 3 months for good behavior. And the judge said something along the lines, or somebody had said something along the lines that they shouldn't ruin his whole future for what he did.
Oh, that's fucked up.
He should still be in jail. Fuck that kid, dude.
Nonviolent drug offenders will serve 5 or 6 years for having too much weed or having an oxy in their pocket or something.
This kid raped a woman who was unconscious and got out because most definitely because he's white from a white family, probably with money. Yeah. So not only are you white, but you're a power white family. So thanks for making the rest of us look like a bunch of assholes, because now you got out for 3 months when you should still be fucking serving time in jail. Yeah. You should be having your ass beat in jail every fucking day is what you should be doing. I don't have a lot of room for a lot of shit. Racism, racist, abusers, rapists. I don't have fucking patience and time for that shit.
We'll throw murderers in that.
Yeah,
as
of
well.
course.
But, nobody's got patience for that yet.
Right.
So,
And then you look at the most recent, David McAtee from Louisville was shot 2 nights ago by, from what I understand, National Guard and Louisville Metro Police.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So evidently he fired into a crowd, he fired at police, they're saying, and they fired back and killed him. I've read before we started this. I didn't watch the video, and so I won't speak on that. What it says the video shows is him carrying utensils. He owned a business. I guess at some point a crowd of people ran in his open door, and they said a few seconds later it shows him reach out with what appeared to be a gun around the corner. I don't know. And I won't stress on any more of that. I don't know, but I know that if you killed another innocent man, fuck, man. Shit, straighten up. What is going on? I don't get it. Yeah. I don't know honestly, what is going on.
If that was National Guard and they fired, if he was just reaching for something that looked like a gun, they would have broke rules of engagement, because you're not supposed to, in military, you're not supposed to fire until you're fired upon.
Right.
And, but I haven't read much about it. I don't really want to speak on it because the Kentucky State Police is conducting their own, private investigation. I'm sure they'll, get to the bottom of it and everything.
And then you look at the case of that 26-year-old EMT, Breonna Taylor. Police evidently, her boyfriend had shot a cop in the leg. They raided her house like it was a raid gone wrong. The guy that they're looking for was in custody, and they shot and killed her. Yeah. I don't know so much that was a racism thing, and it may have been. I don't know. Maybe, again, that's my ignorance, but it was a fucked up situation. Yeah. And I don't know if that was a racism thing, but I think in light of everything that's happening, light will be pointed on the fact that she was an African American, that she was black. So I think light will be pointed to that and made to be a racism thing, whether it be or not. And I don't know.
This is one thing, Second Amendment communities kind of spoken out against with the red flag laws in multiple states. This has happened with no-knock warrants. Right. They would get a red flag law, just someone that they thought shouldn't have a firearm. And without warning, they just kick their door in, not announce their police, and people would end up dead
Right.
And this has really been, that's why everyone spoke out against it, because that's the end result. And, with Breonna Taylor, that's just another instance of, this whole thing gone wrong. It could have been race, but this has happened to all types of races all throughout the country. It's just a really terrible policy. Like, you do not want to kick in a door and not announce who you are.
Right.
Because if somebody kicks in my door or not, I'm going to start firing because,
yeah, dude, 100%.
I don't know who you are and my family's here.
Right.
And
I have a girlfriend and 2 kids at my house, man. Like, you kick in my door, then I'm going to fire back at you because you came in my dwelling and threatened me and mine. So you will definitely be shot at.
Yeah.
If you won't be shot at, you will be shot.
Yeah,
like,
if you kick in and say, please, I might still have my firearm close by in case you're lying to me.
Right.
But
I still think that should be announced outside before you kick in my fucking door, because maybe I'll open that door for you and say, come on in. Like, don't kick my door in, but come on in,
And if you're going to no-knock raid a house, like, get the right friggin' house.
Yeah.
Like, I mean.
And I know mistakes happen. Like, I get it.
That's a deadly mistake.
That is a deadly mistake. And that's not really. That's an unexcusable mistake to come into a house and shooting. You start shooting and killing people, and turned out you're in the wrong house. And, it's, what was it, last year that a female officer went into her house. She seen a black gentleman on the couch. He stood up. He was much taller than her. She shot and killed him. Turned out she was in the wrong house.
Yeah. How you get
I don't know that again. That I don't know that was a racism thing, because I'm a pretty big guy. So if I was a stand up, she might have shot me too. But again, like, you gotta get your shit straight. Like, if you've been on that house for a while now, motherfucker. Like, you better get it right. Like, don't walk into somebody else's house and start shooting. Because
can you imagine how hard that would have been to explain away? Like, dude, I thought this was my house.
What sucks is that they have audio recording of her, like, and text message. She was like, "Oh, I fucked up," and didn't initiate CPR. Just kind of let it happen. Like, there's video, and it's very sickening. There's video, you can hear him gasping in the background, and she's not helping.
Yeah, that's messed up.
And I don't know if that was a thing. Like, maybe she thought if he died, there would be no witnesses, nothing would happen. Because she done walked into his house, and she'd be like, if I was sitting upstairs in your house, man, me and you sitting up there playing some Xbox, somebody just kicked in and shot us both. Like, oh, my bad. Thought this was my house. Shit. Sorry.
Yeah, just leave.
Right. Well, I'm out. You boys do it. It's just, dude, it's such a messed up time right now. The world is very chaotic, and I hate to think that there's a separation right now going on, or, due to race, religion, politics, whatever it be. Because in the end, man, we're all, I feel like, for that same goal. Like, I don't have time to worry what color you are, because I've got to go to work and pay bills.
Exactly.
So if you don't affect me and mine and my bills, you're fine, man.
Right.
Like, if you come into my house and you kick in my door, white, black, green, Puerto Rican, Asian, Hawaiian, I don't care. Like, if you kick in my door and attempt to harm me, I'm going to shoot you regardless of what color you are. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. So
exactly.
But I do think that everything going on right now, especially in Minneapolis, man, is just real fucked up. It's hard to watch. It's hard to bear. Now there's riots and there's protests going on everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think social media helps at all.
No, man, it's just like throwing gas on the flames.
The worst thing you can do, because I've seen a bunch of pictures today of people posting where there's been stacks of bricks everywhere. And so they're saying like it's set up. Like, there's supposed to be a protest here tomorrow, so somebody came in and set up bricks so we could throw them at police, and it could cause this and this.
Yeah, that's just feeding off each other.
Right,
because one injustice, but then you got your protesters that are coming out to protest because, at this point, I don't really know, because, they got, the guy's been fired and he's been arrested and he's got charges filed against him. Like the initial, and there's more cases that's going on, but still, point being, like, people are coming to protest and they're angry and upset that this happened in the first place.
Right.
And I understand that completely. But the cops are coming to show up because their job is to make sure the entire town doesn't get burnt down. And they know that everybody there would love to harm them. Like, they're going there knowing that everybody in that crowd would love to kill them if they could get away with it.
Right.
And then they're setting up bricks and trying to find any way they can just, kill them like mob style or make their life hell. And then the cops are also on that side thinking, they really want to kill us. I need to defend myself. So all these tensions just get highly elevated where it's just, head to head. Everybody like cops versus protesters. There's no middle ground anywhere. Like you got two extremely hot heads just butting. Police are trying to, stay within the law and do what's right. But at the same time, when somebody throws a brick at them, like hits one of their fellow officers in the head, sometimes they lose it.
Yep.
Because they're not robots, they're humans. And just like if the police like shot your buddy with a rubber bullet, you're outraged, you want to throw a brick at them. You hit one of their fellow officers with a brick, they're outraged, they want to shoot you with a rubber bullet. It's just feeding off each other. So it just seems like every time these demonstrations take place, it's just escalating the situation even more.
100%, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't always understand it. I don't always know the correct answer to questions. I don't always understand, I guess, like what the correct view is to have, but I can tell you how I feel, and that's what this fucking podcast is for.
Exactly.
So, I think we both agree that racism is bullshit.
Yes.
What happened to George Floyd was bullshit. The fact that, Brock Turner, I know this was years ago, but I still am pissed off that he got out of jail after 3 months. I think that's bullshit.
For rape. That's
right.
insanity.
Yeah, fuck that kid, man.
Right.
That kid can burn in hell for all I care. I have nothing for him. But I just think that there's a lot of power tripping going on right now in the government, especially with people and probably our leader.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of power tripping going on there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of things this is a time I think people are trying to take advantage of what's happening for their own good.
There are a lot of opportunistic people.
Yep. You've got re-election coming up, and I think a lot of people are trying to do what pleases everybody or seems like what's, the best instead of actually doing what's best. They're trying to please the masses.
Yeah.
And this is not a time to worry about pleasing the masses as much as it is a time to just do what's right.
Exactly.
And I think that's not currently probably not being done. I did see that, I believe, is it the state of Minnesota maybe filing a civil rights suit? Is that how that's going?
I am not really sure. I haven't. I'm kind of taking a break a little bit. Like I watch a little bit of news in the morning, but looking on Facebook, everybody's just like, if you're not extremely radical like I am, then you're a fucking sack of shit.
Right.
And I'm just like, man, fuck Facebook. Like,
so what is the state of Minnesota has filed a civil rights charge against the Minnesota Police Department.
Oh.
From what I've understood, they went back and kind of checked out some other shit and looked at previous arrests and previous things, and they found some wrongdoings, and now they filed an official civil rights lawsuit against them.
Well, they should.
I mean, if nothing for us else for the happenings of of George Floyd and what happened there, I feel that was enough to say something's not right. Like whatever you're teaching these assholes or whatever they're expected to do.
Yeah. And
I'm not saying, and as we've talked about, I've got I've got a couple handfuls of buddies who are cops, and I will support them to the end, man, because it's the same as 10, racist white folks give the other 90 a bad name.
Exactly.
You can't have 4 or 5 bad cops in the world give every cop a bad name.
Right.
Because there's plenty of cops out there who aren't looking for those same reasons, who aren't looking for color, race, creed, whatever it be, who are out there to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
To serve and protect. And I'll always stand up for my police. And that's probably because I came from a medical field where I worked hand in hand with these guys. But I think normal America will also stand with police and understand that it's not every cop isn't this cop. I can't pronounce the dude's last name. Derek something was the cop that kept his knee on the back of George Floyd's neck.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce his last name because I've got a dumb speech impediment. It's going to come out wrong.
Yeah.
I just, to me, this is, I've always had an issue with people who are racist just because I thought it was such a nonsense fucking thing, man. It literally doesn't matter. It couldn't matter any less to most people, I don't think.
Right.
The color of your skin doesn't affect me whatsoever. We only let it affect the things it does because we started letting it affect the things it does. Like all of a sudden we decided that, black folks couldn't work as well as white folks, or they shouldn't get a job over white folks. That's dumb as shit, man. Like that mentality is old school as hell.
Yeah.
And I think growing up, you know, where I grew up and how I grew up, you grew up, I'm not ashamed to say, I mean, I am ashamed to say, but I'll tell you, I feel like we grew up in probably a racist part of the country.
Like
maybe not our generation. Maybe not our generation.
Right. But
if you were to go back 20 years, it's a very racist area, I would imagine.
Yeah. Even though we were kind of like a borderline state. Like it was brother against brother.
Right.
When the Civil War, and we were kind of like part of the North. But, you know, we were a neutral state during the Civil War.
I just feel like, you know, because I still see glimpses of it today.
Oh, yeah.
I see so-and-so's grandson still rolling around, you know, happy as hell to be white, you know, down on anybody of a different color. And to me, it just doesn't make any fucking sense, man. There's plenty of bad people in the world that are doing shit with intent to hate.
Yeah.
Why are we hating on people who have a different skin color, a different belief, a different religion, a different, you know, whatever it be, man? I just don't get it. And I don't think I'm saying anything that anybody normal doesn't think. I think exactly what we're talking about tonight is how most people probably think.
Right. Another thing I can't really understand is with these protests continuing, I understand everyone's upset and wanting to speak out. I'm just wanting to know what the end game is.
Right.
Usually you protest for you got a plan. You know, we're going to protest until this person's arrested or loses his job. That's already been done. All right, we're going to protest until there's a law passed that stops cops from killing innocent people. That law already exists. We're going to pass a law that stops race from killing another race because of the color of their skin. That law exists as well. It seems like, you know, what we're dealing with is kind of like human emotion, trying to change hearts and minds in a way.
Right.
But I don't know, what can a government entity do to change hearts and minds? That's what I can't understand. I mean, most people are not racist, just like you said.
Right.
But those that are racist, can a protest, is that going to change their mind, or is that going to just drive them more on, more off the ledge, you know,
right.
Make them more racist? Or people that were maybe a little bit racist before, but not a lot, seeing protests like this happen and looting.
You're right.
Might drive them a little bit farther.
I can tell you it does. I've already heard the talk, man. I mean,
yeah,
I've heard the talk. I can tell you it does because I've heard some real negative, derogatory comments about it, and it sucks, dude.
Yeah,
it's not right. It's not. As I said earlier, I don't think it's right. As far as the burning and the looting and the burning of cities, I don't think that's right.
No,
I don't care if you're white, black, or Mexican. I'll tell you that to your face. Yeah. I think that shit's wrong.
The protests, though, are appropriate.
Right, I'm fine with that.
Happen.
Yeah, they should, because something should have been done. I do agree with my buddy KP. The state should have acted much swifter on that.
Yes.
You got 4 days to do whatever the fuck you want to do after killing a man. You and I would have got 4 minutes before we were handcuffed and beat. You know, and because
a pistol whipped in the process,
and which all due respect should have been done if we were to kill somebody.
Exactly.
I also seen that it looks like Minnesota schools have cut ties with the police department because of this. Minneapolis Public Schools has cut ties with city police after George Floyd's death. They think it would spur other districts to follow.
Man.
But I also see some stuff going on, man, that so the DEA has been given permission to investigate people who are protesting George Floyd's death.
The DEA?
Yep. The Justice Department has gave the agency the temporary power, and I quote, to enforce any federal crime committed as a result of the protest over the death of George Floyd. So now they're using this. And that's shit, dude.
It is.
That's a fucking power trip.
The DEA is for drug enforcement, which I don't think should even exist. That should just be FBI. That's a waste of government resources. I don't think the DEA should even exist right now, along with the BATFE. That should be dissolved into the ATF as well.
Right.
Because they're trying to rewrite stuff. That's another discussion. But point being, you have a designated area. Stay in your lane.
Right.
You should not be redirecting government agencies to like investigate crap that has nothing to do with them. But I mean, I want, justice for Floyd. Absolutely. But I don't want us to turn our government inside out to do it. I want us to do it the right way.
Yeah, I don't agree with what the government's doing by giving the DA power to do that. Basically what they're saying is if you're out on the streets and you're protesting, they can pick you up at the corner and find any crime that you are doing or have done and fucking take you in for it.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit.
No.
So I don't agree with any of that.
Right.
I think this has just been a big fucking episode of shit I don't agree with.
Yeah.
Basically
pretty much,
that's what this is.
And shit I don't agree with and shit I don't understand. But
yeah, I don't always understand, what's going on in the world, but I do know, and I know we do this together, so I say this very lightly, and I say this as my own person. So as Mitch from Mitch and Matt speaking, if you're a racist, fucking don't listen to us. Like, I have no room for that, man. Like, I get it's our podcast, I do, and I say that hoping you feel the same, but like, I don't, man. Like, there's some shit I don't deal well with. If you're a rapist, so Brock Turner, please don't listen to our podcast. You can get fucked.
Yeah.
If you're a racist, you can get fucked as well. The world is already in a shitstorm. We're all wearing masks, staying 6 foot apart because of some crazy ass virus trying to fucking kill people. You've got bullshit storms happening. You've got hurricanes storming in fucking air. Like, there's enough bullshit in the world that we got to stop hating each other at some fucking point.
Exactly.
Like, go
not
to work.
mention fucking COVID-19. Like, It's not over. Like,
that's what I said. There's some virus trying to kill everybody. That shit is everywhere. I can't even go on vacation with my family.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on that we got to stop hating each other, man. Like, if you wake up and you got to hate somebody else, then you need to really check yourself on what you're fucking doing, because I don't have time for that.
No.
I got to go to work in the morning. So I don't have time to get up and be like, well, I'm going to hate on this guy because they did this and that and this.
Yeah.
I don't. You know who I hate is fucking Uncle Sam for taking 30% of my fucking check. That's who I hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only person I'm mad at is the fucking government. That's
taxation is theft.
Right. And I'm just bitching pissed that you're taking 30% of my check, and I-64 is still getting fucking worked on every day.
Especially they're spending it on this shit. You know? Like, cops that had been killing. Not all, but
100% not all. Like, I will gladly stand up for, like I said, I am 100% for all lives matter.
Yeah.
But get off your high horse, because right now, in my opinion, and I just speak for myself when we do this, and you can always have your own opinion as you always have. In my opinion, right now, of course, all lives matter to everybody. I get that.
Yeah.
But like you said earlier, the spotlight and the focus are on black lives.
Yeah.
And so if you're too fucking proud to come off your white horse or your Hispanic horse or your fucking redneck horse or wherever the fuck you're from to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, man, it seems like the world's picking on black folk right now. Then step off, because it seems like it.
Yeah.
It does seem like it.
It's either that or the black folk are getting the shit into the stick of the corrupt cops, and we're having a corrupt cop problem.
Right.
That tend to be like, really focused on the black folk.
Right. And I think that's a thing. I think
it's a mix of both.
Yeah, because I think racism is still so strong in those who aren't cops.
Right.
That I think it's a little bit of both.
It is.
But I think it's probably easy for a cop which blows my mind, because as much shit has been going on over the last couple of years, you would think cops would be on their fucking good knowing like we're being watched. But they're still doing real dumb shit. Like, and again, not all cops.
Exactly.
These shithead cops.
Right.
Are still doing dumbass shit that, why the fuck? You're not getting away with that. Like, you just had your fucking knee on the back of a man's neck who was subdued and who was on the ground handcuffed, who wasn't going anywhere, but yet you had plenty of people around you, and yet you still kept your knee on the back of his neck while he begs you to get it off. Like, you're a shitty human being.
Yeah. You could put your knee any other place.
Put it on his back.
Yeah.
Put it right between his fucking shoulder blades. That hurts like hell. I've had it done to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good.
But it ain't going to kill you.
Right. It's just going to hurt.
Yeah.
Like, and how about just put him in a cop car like a decent human being? Because just because you arrest him, again, doesn't make him guilty.
Right. You're just detained.
Right.
That's
You're
all.
detained and you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So how about putting him in the back of the cop car and getting him to the station like a normal human being? You, though, who just killed a black man, are fucking guilty because the whole world's seen you do it.
Exactly.
So
and
now
everybody has a cell phone, and all cell phones have cameras.
Right.
Like, the world is watching you all the time.
Yep.
Quit doing stupid shit.
Dude, I've heard clips of our podcast from strangers when I've said some dumb shit, who've been like, hey, I recorded this, and it's me saying some dumb shit on the podcast. Yeah, I say shit. I know.
Don't you love how it's like, deceptive editing too?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Like the dumbest shit.
Right. They listen to the podcast, but they'll stop it when I say dumb shit and they'll play it for me. They'll listen to what you said.
Yeah.
I know what I said. I don't listen. So just so we know.
Sentence? Like, did you finish that thought? No.
Just so everybody knows, Matt and Blake do all the editing for the podcast because I refuse to listen to myself. I just don't. I don't even listen when Matt's like, oh, listen, it sounds good. I just won't listen because I hate the sound of my own voice. And the minute I listen to it, I say the same shit. Cut it, scrap it, throw it away, on up.
I did that last time.
Right.
I got too drunk.
And that's what I said. We've done several episode 9s. We've not done several. We've done like 3 episode 9s that we keep scrapping. And this one may turn out to sound like shit, but we're putting it out because it's an important topic and sound doesn't matter in this time. Like what matters is the content.
Oh, I'll make it sound good, buddy.
Oh, he's gonna make it sound good for everybody.
I got this shit.
So, it is, man. It's just it's a fucked up situation. But if you're out there looting and rioting and burning business down for your own good, and you're stealing TVs and tennis shoes, I don't give a fuck if you're white, black, or what. You're part of the problem. If you're a cop and you're out looking just for black males or Hispanic males, and you're just trying to start problems, you're part of the problem.
Yes.
Don't for one second think I don't support cops. I will always support law enforcement, EMS, medical professionals, and everybody, because there's, again, for every 200-300 good cops, there's 10 to 20 bad. Just like for every 300 white folks that aren't racist, you got 10 assholes in the crowd that make us all look like a bunch of redneck assholes.
Exactly.
So, but again, I will admit to the fact of, and this is something I've had trouble with myself admitting, is whatever, I never thought about that I was part of white privilege. But I do see that, and it took maybe some hard talking to me to realize that I've been accustomed to my treatment so far in life that, yeah, man, white privilege is some real shit. I've never once got pulled over and feared for my life. I've never once had somebody not walk down my street. I have had people walk on the other side of the street for me. But again, that's because I'm big, bearded, and tattooed, and I probably freak people out. I'm fine with that.
And that's like a misconception a lot of people have. They think when you say white privilege that you're just fed with a silver spoon.
Right.
No, that just means like you...
You and I came from the fucking bottom, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we know this. Like, I wasn't fed with shit.
Exactly.
So,
sleepy cheese.
Right, sleepy. My mom would give me sleepy cheese, put some vinegar on a piece of cheese, so I would just go to fucking sleep. I get it. Like, I understand how it works. So, no, I wasn't fed with a silver spoon. I've worked for what I have, and I've came from the bottom. I've came from dog shit, gravel driveways, dirt floor type shit, heating up bath water on a stove. I know what that's like.
Heating up your house with the oven.
Right, yeah. You turn the oven on 450 and open the door because you ain't got no heat. I know what that shit's like.
A few years ago, man.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I did that like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So I know what that shit's like. So don't feed me some bullshit that because I'm white privileged, I get some kind of higher benefit. No, but I do get treated better by the masses. And I will admit that. Yeah. And if I go to a job interview with a black male and it's me, there's been a lot of times in the past, I've probably got that job and not realized it.
Yeah.
Because I'm a white male. And that's just not race. That's also gender. Because you're fucking females over because you think I'm better at some shit than she is because you think a female deserves to be in an office as a secretary.
Yeah.
I can tell you now that my girlfriend is 10 times better at me than in anything in life than I am. So if it comes to numbers, fucking letters, books, if you want her to figure out some shit, you want her to walk better than me, you want her to run, like I'm a handicapped white fat fuck. Like I don't know.
Yeah. When it comes to medical, we got this shit.
I've been a medic for long enough.
Like
if your heart stops, I got you.
Yeah. All the other important, life stuff.
No. Leave it to the women. They know it. I won't lie. Like mine holds my debit card because I spend money like it's fucking free.
Yeah.
So you know who holds my debit card? Her. And I'm like, hey, I need like $10 for gas. Because I don't need a debit card because I know how fucking bad I am at it. When I need like, hey, we paid these bills. You know who keeps up with that? She does. Because in my mind, nope. I'm watching fucking Teen Wolf and playing Xbox all day. Like the world's just fucking happy to do. Here I am with my Pabst Blue Ribbon watching fucking Michael J. Fox fucking wreak havoc on some fucking dudes as a werewolf playing basketball, just dunking on bitches. Yeah. So I think the base of this episode was very good because it brought some points through. Like, I don't think you or either one condone racism, so fuck racism. I don't think any one of us condone like police brutality, but at the same time, we do support the police who do what they do for that purpose.
Yeah.
Because at any time, I may have to call 911 for a cop, for police to come to me, and I expect to have someone at my door within minutes. I do, because that's what they do.
Yeah.
So I will never, and like I said, I've worked hand in hand with cops for over a dozen years with the intent that we work for the best of the patient, as of the, whatever you want to. In my line of field, it's always been the patient because I'm a medic. So it's always been the patient. So whatever we're working towards, we work in the benefit of them. I can personally say that I don't know any of the cops that I've worked with who are racist.
Right.
I'm not going to bullshit you. I guarantee you they are. But I've never been told that.
Yeah.
I've never seen it face to face. I can personally tell you that I'm not. But as I told my buddy KP the other night, I know I've been inadvertently and, unintentionally racist. But just by being that guy, it's like, oh, it's okay, dude. I got some black friends. Because I thought that would make me cool because I remember being in college. Right. I remember being in college. I remember going to college and going to the bar and running into some black dudes. And I was like, oh, it's okay. Yeah, high fives. I listen to rap music. I got black friends. You sound like a douche. But at the time, 19-year-old me, I didn't know. I thought that was
you're
me.
A kid. You don't know how to prove.
Right. I just wanted you to know, hey.
A sack of shit.
Right. Because I know you're going to college in this Eastern Kentucky town that, there's a lot of racist folks here. There is. I've heard it and I've seen it and I've heard the fucking jokes and it's bullshit. But when you're a 19-year-old kid, you want to prove that you're not. So you do dumb shit like, oh, it's okay, dude. I got 14 black friends. I had a black roommate. I listen to rap music. I know who Tupac is. That's bullshit. So I constantly think, man, that I have inadvertently and unintentionally been racist. And I've admitted that. And I've apologized for that being said. And that's I said in the beginning of the podcast, I was told, KP told me he doesn't think I'm racist, maybe just unaware of what's happening. And I appreciated that so much because I'm not.
Right.
But I am because I'm a white male, I am often unaware of what's happening. And I will admit that 100%.
Well, with our location and stuff, we're kind of sheltered in a way.
You're right. Yeah.
It's where we live. Everybody's basically the same race.
Right.
So
you're right.
It's kind of like we're living in China.
You're right.
Everybody's the same race. Everybody just treats everybody equal. And, we never really had a lot of experience with a lot of other races before.
Right.
I've always got along with everybody.
Right.
I've not had an issue with anybody. I was never raised to be that way.
No.
The one thing I hate so much, on Facebook, and you'll just try to talk about a serious subject, and then you get some douchebags on it, dude, check your privilege. Man, fuck off. Seriously, I'm just trying to talk. I'm trying to understand what's going on.
I think what's happened a lot is people want I don't know the best way to say it, man. It's like they want you, whatever you say or whatever you put online should be perfect. Yeah. And I think that's where social media fucks you up a lot because we do this podcast and I stumble a lot. We repeat ourselves sometimes. I stutter words sometimes because it's fucking live and it's happening. And I'll tell you exactly how I feel. It won't come out perfect. It won't come out pre-done. Yeah. It's not like we don't script anything. We don't write anything.
Yeah, we're human.
Right, 100%.
Humans are imperfect.
Right. You're right.
We can't record the perfect podcast. We can't type the perfect
bullshit.
post.
This is the perfect podcast. This is this and that, Mitch and Matt.
It's perfect.
Goddamn it, it's perfect.
Except for that big dong you probably heard.
That's all right. That's just
their mic.
That's all right.
It's cool. It's cool.
I'll show you a big dong.
I'm going to leave it.
Leave it.
You show me that big dong.
Yeah. But
actually don't. Let's finish this podcast.
All right. I got that. That's good though. But really, man, I know you and I both have sat down and we've talked and we're gonna do a podcast. Are you is your vape pen out? You have to get you a spare battery for every time we do this.
Well, I've been using this since 7 a.m.
Oh, so that's all right. That's pretty good time, man. You got about 15 hours in.
Yeah, I just didn't change it before it happened. But
we've done I think 3 episodes now. We've dubbed episode 9, and we're gonna put them out. We're gonna put them out, and then things started happening in the world, and I don't feel like any of those other podcasts really fit because they weren't for the meaning, they weren't for the time.
Right.
And we do this because we want a voice heard. We do this because we've got some shit to say, and I've said this from the beginning. I got some shit to say. I'm going to say it the way I'm going to say it. And this is how we do it.
Right.
When I started this podcast on my own, it was politically incorrect with Mitch. And I just rambled on a bunch of shit in my opinion, which has been a perfect episode for right now.
Right.
But I noticed my first 3 guests were you. So at some point, right? So at some point it was okay to say, you know what? We should just do this together because this is how we're going to do it. So I know you knew that this was a big deal to me, and I know it was a big deal to you. And with everything going on, I felt it necessary. And I think you did. We've talked about it for a couple of days now, and I knew when I came over tonight that, you know, we got sidetracked. We had dinner like a family, like we always do. We hung out. Late dinner, yeah.
I slaved over that kitchen all day.
I'm sorry, man. I was late getting there. Sorry, I was like 20 minutes late getting here for dinner. It was good. It was good. It was good dinner, though. It was very good dinner.
Yeah, I had to remake that Pozzolis.
That's all right.
Man, they just bogart the sauce, dude.
You know,
like,
that's all right. You know,
like you pay for catering, and they just like give you like one scoop for like, you know,
you hooked it up,
tray.
though. Don't think I'm gonna take some of that shit home with me. I'm about to take some of that shit home with me.
Dude, please.
I will. I'm gonna go home and watch some horror movies and sit around on the couch and see how many people listen to this episode.
Honestly, my sauce is better than Pozzolis.
It was good. Like, yeah, you had a chicken too, so that's good.
I had chicken. I had some. Well, with the chicken, I make Miss Dash on it.
Ooh,
and
those low sodium Mrs. Dash.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm trying to stay a little healthier. So
yeah.
But you put butter
in it. Yeah, I fuck that healthy stuff up.
And probably
some garlic powder and some basil, and yeah,
probably the 2 little bottles of Fireball we've had together while doing this probably didn't help, but.
Yeah,
but anyway,
a good one. We needed a long one.
We did. You're right. You're right.
So.
We did. And I hope everybody listens, man. And I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. And I hope you see that we don't just do it to bullshit and listen to ourselves talk. Because if that we wouldn't record, we'd just sit here and bullshit together. And I think this episode had to be done. I had some shit to say. This bothered me, man. This whole thing bothered me.
Yeah.
So from a white privileged male that I'll admit I am, like, this shit's not right, and it does bother me. And I promise, dude, to every ethnicity, every race, every creed, every color, religion, I'll try to do better. But I'm not perfect, so I'll fuck up.
Yeah.
Don't take that as hatred towards you. Just correct me and help me understand more. And that was a big reason. Talking to my buddy KP when I was like, dude, you got to help me understand, because I don't always understand. I don't understand what it's like to be a 35-year-old black male. You're right, because I'm a 35-year-old white male, so I don't understand.
Right.
I do have an issue when I'm told my opinion doesn't matter, because I don't know what you're going through. I get it. I don't. Yeah. But that doesn't mean my fucking opinion doesn't matter.
No, you're still human.
Right. If you know, to support each other, you've got to understand it. Just because I don't know what it's like to go through that shit, that I'll stand with you side by fucking side. You help me understand what's going on. That doesn't mean just because I'm a white privileged male that my opinion doesn't matter. Simply saying that I know that I have family now who has competed in speech tournaments at the college level and has been told that he can't do speeches on certain content because he is a white male. So he can't do certain speeches on rape culture because he's a white male and he's not a female. He can't do speeches on anything African American related because he's a white male. He can't do speeches on things that don't involve being a white male because he's never encountered that and they're afraid of the uncomfortableness that will provide.
I mean,
that's bullshit.
I mean, facts are facts.
Right, 100%. So what you're doing there is you're just building a fucking stepping stone for there to be
more division.
Maybe not racism, but more division. You're dividing society by saying, oh, well, you can't speak on that because you're not a female. You can't speak on that because you're not a gay male. You can't speak on that because you're not a black male. Like, if you want the equality in the world as in a fucking whole, then we should be able to speak on whatever the fuck we want to speak on when we want to speak on it.
Just treat people as individuals.
100%.
Like, that's
treat them like you want, like you said earlier. You treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to be treated with a knee on the back of their neck.
No.
But you did it to somebody.
Yeah.
So now that cop, I feel like, should have a knee placed on his neck.
Yeah. Nobody wants to be pepper sprayed in the eyes if they're not doing anything wrong.
Right.
So
I also
seen
a cop pepper sprayed a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Somebody should beat his ass. Like, I don't know. I won't say
I didn't
true.
see the actual video of it happening.
I seen a picture, and I did see a picture. It was online. It wasn't on Facebook. It was on some news outlet, but that doesn't mean shit evidently anymore.
No.
So I don't know, but if that's real, if you pepper sprayed a 9-year-old kid, no matter what the fuck was happening, I hope somebody beats your ass.
Yeah.
Because if you couldn't subdue that 9-year-old kid to stop whatever they were doing, you shouldn't be on doing shit. You should go back home to your granny's basement, drink Code Red Mountain Dew, play Call of Duty, and grow your man boobs out and pretend you're a badass.
Be like that FBI cop from American Hustle, Bradley Cooper played.
Yeah.
He just freaks out. I really needed God.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, but I appreciate you doing this. I know this episode was more serious than we usually do because it's usually more laid back and fun. We kind of just joke and talk, but there's some real serious shit going on in the world right now. So again, like I said, just speaking on my behalf, if you're a racist, if you're a prejudiced, if you're against females, if you're against other religions, other ethnicities, whatever it is you're against, if you're not just for everybody just being fucking one, step off, man. And you don't have to listen to the podcast anymore. Like that we don't have room for that in the world, man. There's too much shit going on in the world. And it ain't going to happen. Like, I hate it. So, sure, if you want to keep subscribing and boosting numbers, by all means, but I don't like you and you can get fucked.
Right. And I mean, for the rest of our listeners, the golden rule, do unto others. Yep. I know there's not a lot of people that's religious out there, but, in most religions that do exist, there's some form of that rule that exists. Even though you might be against religion, that's kind of good shit. Religion's kind of a way to teach you how to not be a dickhead.
It's true.
Sometimes. Like,
that's true.
The big ones. And there's, stoning gay people. That's, not okay. But, I think that's like Old Testament anyway. But
yeah, I don't think that's some new shit happening.
Yeah. But point being, some of your big stuff, there is some good things that come from religion, like, doing to others. I mean, that still is important today as it's ever have been. And if you don't want people treating you bad, don't treat other people bad. Just be a good human being.
Basically, man, I think if you just handle your own shit, if people just focus on their own, the world would be a lot better place. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't give a shit if you're gay, straight, bi, trans, black, white, green, yellow. When it comes to pro-life and pro-choice, I don't have to carry that child. I don't think it's my fucking decision. I don't think it's anybody's decision.
We don't really have.
You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to take it away from everybody. Let people answer for their own fucking sins. And the thing about religion that gets me is a sin's a sin. Yeah, that's the way. I'm not a religious person. I'm a religious person. I don't believe you have to go to church to be a religious person. I don't believe you have to go to that gathering. Right, I tend to find God in my own places.
Yeah.
Point being, a sin's a sin. I know that. Murder is just the same as adultery, is just the same as stealing, is just the same as gluttony. So I can go eat 12 donuts right now, and in God's eyes, I did the same as the cop who put his neck on the back of George Floyd. A sin's a sin. So don't judge everybody, because you're as sinful as I am. Yeah. So that's the shittiest part, is having people who want to stand above me and say and look down upon me and tell me I'm a sinner.
Yeah. Which is odd. You think like with religion, they would have like put like a hierarchy of sin, like, kind of like, I mean, we thought to do misdemeanors and felonies and like, first degree, second degree. You'd think religion would have done that too, but it's just like kind of like blanket rule, all of this equal, Right. But
I agree.
I can't argue with, God, so I won't. But,
right. No, I won't either. In closing, my only thing is, man, we're on your fucking side.
Yeah.
Right now, I do think that the spotlight, the focus is on Black lives, and I'm on your fucking side. And I'll stand with you every day, and I'll stand with you as proud as I fucking can. As a white, privileged male, I will stand with you every day. That's not to say that all lives don't matter, but right now, in this time and age, Black lives are what we're focused on, and the unequal treatment and fucking abuse that they faced. And if you don't like what I've got to say, that's fine too, man. We're here every night, so you can do what you want to do, but we'll stand with you as much as we can, as always. I'm sure Matt's got some closing words, of course, and then we'll hit you with a little bit of pushing our podcast, and we'll let you go.
Yeah. No, dude, I think you might have like.
Well, I mean, that's what I do.
I actually had a thought, but my PC battery is low, and it just said, "Please plug it in." And I'm like, I left my power cord upstairs.
So, anyway, follow us. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Please check out the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes, we need that.
More videos going to be posted every day. The more subscribers we get, the more videos that are posted. We're trying to get those numbers up because we want to start coming to you guys more on video platforms. So you guys can see kind of what goes on while we do this.
Right.
Other than that, stop hating each other. Start fucking loving each other. It's real fucking simple. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Stop worrying about what your neighbor's doing. Start taking your ass to work. Worry about you and yours. And I dare you to kick in my motherfucking door because I will shoot you in the fucking face.
Yeah, everybody live by Jackie Moon. Everybody love everybody.
There you go. So that being said, I feel like episode 9's in the books.
Absolutely.
We'll talk to you guys next time.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.